Educate a man, and you educate an individual. Educate a woman, and you educate a family. We city folk tend to forget how fortunate we are. We take many things for granted, such as literacy, a roof over our heads, education, and all the amenities of modern living. Upper-class Indians and many in the West consider New Delhi and Mumbai to be peer cities at par with New York and London. Here, women rub shoulders with their male counterparts at work, at home, in every walk of life. But unfortunately, this does not hold true for most of the rural areas of the country. Life in rural India is a series of challenges. Amidst all these challenges, education has sadly taken a backseat. And most often, women have borne the brunt of this pitiable situation. Education, it is widely agreed, can provide a solution to these challenges. Women in rural India live a marginalized existence and are often denied access to education, and the result is a society lacking base of higher learners. When mothers, daughters, sisters, and wives continue to grope in the dark corridors of illiteracy, how can the rural population keep up with India's strong strides into a shining future? It's a vicious cycle that needs to be broken. Mahatma Gandhi claimed that women are completely equal to men. Indeed, after independence in 1947, equality between man and woman was formalized in the Indian Constitution. Unfortunately, for almost all of rural India, the situation remains essentially the same as it was then. During the 1940s, the local government made a feeble attempt to emphasize women's education, but hardly any progress was made. Around 1944, a girls' school was set up at Malsisar, but it saw only one student enrolled in the first year.
5 क्लास पढ़ी मैं, बहुत इच्छा थी लेकिन कोई व्यवस्था नहीं होने से मैं नहीं पढ़ पाई.
But that same year, a child was born in a Brahmin priest family of Satyanarayan temple in a small desolate village, Malsisar, in Rajasthan. His name, Helena Kaushik. Surendra, at a very early age, moved into the temple and made it his home. He helped his great-uncle Mannalal Kaushik and uncle Hanuman Prasad in the day-to-day work of the temple, participated in prayers, and focused on his studies. After his schooling, Surendra pursued his further studies by moving out of Malsisar, not losing sight of his humble beginnings and his community.
बहुत इंटेलिजेंट था, खुश मिजाज था और 5-6 साल का हुआ तब से ही मंदिर में रहने लग गया था.
सुरेंद्र एक्सेलेंट विद्यार्थी था और वो टॉप करता था क्लास को और सब लड़कों से हिल-मिल करके रहता था और सबकी मदद करता था और अध्यापकों का बहुत रेस्पेक्ट करता था. एक प्रकार से वो पूर्ण विद्यार्थी था.
Since the age of 5, Surendra had a strong desire to do something for his hometown. He realized the importance of higher education and subsequently graduated in commerce from Podar College, Navalgarh.
जब से वो 11वीं क्लास में आए, वहाँ से मैंने देखा कि वो उन स्टूडेंट्स में थे जो बहुत ही ब्रिलियंट थे और वो उन्होंने पहले ग्रेजुएशन किया. वो फर्स्ट क्लास के करीब उन्होंने इकोनॉमिक्स में उनके नंबर बहुत अच्छे थे. हम उनको यही कहते थे कि आप बढ़ो और बढ़ने में ही आपकी जो शक्ति है उसको काम में लो.
Surendra went on to obtain his Masters in Economics from the University of Rajasthan, Jaipur in 1967. He was awarded a certificate in Research Methodology in 1968 at the Institute of Economic Growth in Delhi, which was founded by the noted academician Dr. V.K.R.V. Rao, who also founded the neighboring Delhi School of Economics as an economic research institute under the guidance of Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. At the time, its director was Professor P.N. Dhar, who later served as Principal Secretary to Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. In 1970, Surendra was accepted to Boston University's PhD program in economics in the USA. The poor health of Surendra's father meant that he, despite being half a world away, had to earn extra income by lecturing at Northeastern and other universities in the Boston area. Amidst all this academic learning, Surendra found time for a gentler pursuit. He met a young woman, Helena Kaushik, and love blossomed.
I noticed her in the lobby of the building a few times and just wished to know her. One day I took the courage of saying hello and invited her to a coffee.
Originally from Detroit, Helena had moved to Boston during her college years. Surendra and Helena were married on September 12, 1973. With newfound strength and encouragement, Helena Kaushik received his doctorate in economics in 1976. He became a U.S. citizen in 1980. Mrs. Kaushik worked as a registered nurse at the New England Baptist Hospital in Boston and later as director of Babson College Health Center in Wellesley, Massachusetts. The couple then moved to Westchester, New York in 1981 when Dr. Kaushik joined Pace University's Business School. Mrs. Kaushik worked at the Phelps Memorial Hospital in Westchester before moving to the Montefiore Medical Center in the Bronx, New York City, as a patient care coordinator. She also earned a master's in nursing administration and a certificate in geriatric and orthopedic nursing. Dr. and Mrs. Kaushik visited India together 5 times, and it was during these visits that Mrs. Kaushik experienced firsthand the trials and tribulations of the women and children of rural Rajasthan. She appreciated and shared Dr. Kaushik's interest and concern for the condition of women and children from impoverished sections of society, in particular, their health and education. In a culture where unsupervised intermingling between the sexes is frowned upon, girls were prevented from going to co-educational schools in Malsisar. There was no high school or college to cater to girls in a 21-mile radius, and unfortunately, most families did not think it worthwhile to send girls a long distance away to study. Girls were certainly not considered as important as boys. Therefore, families did not see value in spending the limited family income on educating daughters. As a result, generation after generation of girls stopped studying in middle school, were married off, and became mothers in their teens.
Parents, they should know that there is no difference between a girl and a boy, and that's why my girl should also go to the college or higher education, and she should be like others.
Surendra was influenced by activists and thinkers like Henry David Thoreau, whose book Walden and the essay on civil disobedience in moral opposition to an unjust state inspired Mahatma Gandhi's non-violent resistance, Satyagraha, in South Africa and India.
I became aware of and heard what President John F. Kennedy had called on Americans when he said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country, unquote.
Helena and Surendra were driven by the American spirit of generosity. They became determined